Hello and welcome to your favorite show, Identities, Umhlobo, your show that talks about your social, economic, and political issues. Over the last few episodes, we've been talking about public finance management. By now, if you don't know it, it means you haven't been paying attention. Public finance management that we have been brought by ZIMCODD. And in the studio today, I have amazing guests. I will let them introduce themselves.
Thank you, Nyari. I'm Janet.
Janet Show.
Yes.
Thank you, Nyari. I'm Dr. Tawanda Zinyama.
Dr. Zinyama and Madam Janet, thank you very much for coming to the studio. Today is like our final for this moment, rounding up of public finance management that we've been talking about, and we've learned over the period that we've engaged in this issue about some of the key concepts. Dr. Zinyama, what is it that you'd want like the viewers to take away from all the issues that we've spoken about around public finance management? What will be your key issues?
My key issue, let me start by saying they should remember that the public finance management system, we are looking at systems, processes, procedures that are designed to ensure that the way we manage our public finances is transparent, accountable, there is democratic governance, integrity, honest, in order to deliver quality public services. And also, more importantly, public finance management system is, I can say, is a key central issue in terms of running the state or the government or a survival of a nation. So if we don't manage our resources in a very efficient way, we are doomed as a nation. So that's what I can say, and that's what people should do, remember.
Madam Janet, you've been following and you've been participating. A woman, a young person, anybody in the community, what are the key issues you want them to take away from public finance management?
Okay, thank you very much, Nyari. For me, when we're talking about public finance management, I would want the citizens that we've been talking to, as you indicated that this is the 8th episode, to know that you cannot leave it to someone else to do it. There are many mechanisms and facets under which each and every one of us as citizens can come in and contribute to public finance management. And we are in this situation because as citizens we haven't engaged enough in terms of the public finance management, and it is a process, it is an ongoing process. So we have spoken about the national budgeting, we have spoken about debt, we have spoken about local authorities, central government, and the principles of public finance management that speak to the issue of access to information, access to just administrative actions. We've spoken about social and economic rights and how resources can be used to the maximum to ensure that citizens' human rights or human rights are actually realized and achieved. So for me, I would want to see citizens taking up that role, to play that oversight role, and engage with different bodies, engage with their government, engage with their parliament, engage with their judiciary system, engage with their local authorities, and ensure that there is openness in terms of how public funds are managed. We don't want to wait until the Office of the Auditor General gives us a report, the audited accounts. We want to be participating and monitoring and raising these issues way before the audit comes out, so that the government can redress some of the challenges and the issues that we have even seen in the Auditor General's reports. And I want to encourage the citizens to also ensure that even the recommendations that we have put in terms of the principles that are in the Constitution, the government starts to take action in terms of the recommendations that have been made by the Office of the Auditor General, but also constitutionalism. They start adopting, aligning. We're going to talk about all these issues, aligning our laws to ensure that the public finance management system that we have going forward is one that is is sound, one that is hinged on human rights-based approaches to development. At the end of the day, public finance management is about development.
And amazing. And I think that there's been a lot of things that have happened in our country. I mean, we have felt a pinch of what's happening in the country, but the biggest word being austerity. I think we can't talk about public finance management in the current administration and not talk about austerity and not talk about the frantic efforts that the government has been talking about. What are some of the efforts around public finance management, Doctor?
The current government, if you check from 2018, the enactment of Public Procurement and the Asset Disposal or Act, and also if you check again the reconstitution of Zimbabwe anti-corruption, if you check also, so many measures were taken, and they are meant to strengthen good governance as far as public finance management systems are concerned in the country. So
and also building the goodwill. And I think we've been seeing a shaking. I think we are beginning to see a shaking up that probably people have been yearning for, to say, "Nyai corruption, nothing is being done." I think for a long time people were like, corruption, nothing is being done, but we are beginning to see things in the environment. But please go ahead.
Yeah, which is very correct. But now the issue of corruption, the government has pronounced, if you remember, the zero tolerance to corruption as a policy, which is very good. And some of the efforts that are being done are reflecting that. But we need to see more of convictions than mere arrests. If the government can take a step further and we have convictions, and it will send a strong message to the citizens to say the government is now serious. Even the international community, you know that when the international community sees Zimbabwe as a potential investment destination, they want, one, rule of law, property rights, also a conducive environment where if they put their monies, they will reap or get some yields. But you cannot do that in a corrupt environment. Why? Because the transactional cost will be very high. For instance, maybe I need, to open a liquor business in Zimbabwe, and I need, to grease the palms. If it costs me $50 to get a license, but because there are 3 offices that I need to give $10, ultimately it becomes $80.
Very expensive.
Very expensive.
Janet, as we wrap up this segment, what is it that you'd want to say? What is the one thing that we should see in the future of public finance management in Zimbabwe?
Yeah, I think we need to go back to the basics in terms of the principles that are laid out in the Constitution that are very comprehensive. And if we could do realignment of our Public Finance Management Act and ensure this comes to the issue of the convictions that is talking about, not just arrests, because there must be very clear and stiff penalties that as citizens we should start seeing being imposed on those that are involved in graft and misuse of public finances.
And how about getting it back? I mean,
yes, it is also, it can actually be put in as we have this window of opportunity to realign our laws as well. There is the issue of the moratorium or recovery of public finances and assets that would actually have been corruptly or illicitly taken out of the country or the economy. That also has to be enforced. But there is also, I wanted to talk to the issue of the convictions as well and the arresting powers. I want to commend the arresting powers that have been given to the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission.
So we're going to take a quick break. Do not go away. When we come back, we're going to delve deeper into the future of public finance management in Zimbabwe. Stay with us.